Hey my fellow golf ball addicts, welcome back to the channel. I have, as promised, a review of the 2025 Legato LTX 3085. Let's dive right in. Guys, thank you so much for all of your likes, comments, subscribes. The algorithm, what you're doing is making a big impact, and you have my gratitude. I really am thankful. The channel's just been continuing to grow, and I love that for our community, so thank you. I really do appreciate it. Legato has been the standard on this channel for a while, and the reason I call it the standard is because, well, we're all about value on this channel. We're all about finding the best bang for your buck, and when we tested the Legato last year, we were pleasantly surprised. One, performance numbers were off the charts, but also $29.99 MSRP on Amazon for a three-piece urethane golf ball. I mean, that's unheard of. That's fantastic. I mean, it's easy. There's no shipping costs. It's Amazon Prime. You all got it. Get it to your doorstep tomorrow. That's impressive, and it didn't take long before the community feedback from you guys was just through the roof. I mean, I still have not heard anything negative about that golf ball. You all love it. In fact, you all love it so much you voted it #2 in your fan voting last year during the Golf Ball Addict Awards. So, I mean, everyone loves this golf ball. Everyone wants to know how this new model is going to do. First of all, let's talk about, you know, the new changes. Now, I did get the chance to talk to Legato a little bit about their changes, so we'll go over those. They also sent me this hat. This is kind of nice too. It doesn't match, but you know what? I'm just going to wear it for them just to be nice. They sent it, so might as well wear it. The changes were very minimal. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, right? So they had a good golf ball. They knew they had a good golf ball. They made the cover a little bit more responsive. They wanted to add a little bit more short greenside spin. They made some cosmetic changes. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? This is what good, successful companies do. MaxFly, we talked about that a couple videos ago. Get a good golf ball, take the feedback, make changes. Take the feedback, make changes. And that's what MaxFly has done over the course of 5 or 6 years, and that's why they have such a great product now. So yeah, I mean, this golf ball is a three-piece urethane. Its MSRP right now is $34.99 a dozen. At the moment, these are only available on the website, $34.99 a dozen, which is still a really good price point. We'll see later in the year if they drop the Amazon link and make it, you know, a cheaper price like they did before. We'll see, but for now, $34.99, still a great price for a three-piece urethane, 85 compression. Yeah, I think according to what Legato is telling me, I think they're trying to go more the tour ball route. We'll see in our testing on that, but we'll get there when we get there. So let's talk about the design first of all. So looking at the new logo they have, that's a very, very nice logo. I mean, there's no way to say it. That is classy, that is modern, that is sophisticated. It's simple, it's elegant. It's other words that I need to look in the dictionary for. I love it a lot. Now, I wish they hadn't put the LTX 3085 on there. That's the only thing that truly bothers me. Like, if it was just that Legato logo, chef's kiss, I would love that. But putting the LTX, now I understand that's getting petty, but it's just my personal opinion. I didn't like it on the last one, and I don't care for it on this one. Feeling the golf ball as far as the urethane coating, feels nice, feels premium, feels good. I mean, it does not feel like a cheap one. It doesn't feel like they skimped out. I love it a lot. It's got a good shine to it. It's nice. Coming over here, this is one of my favorite additions. They have this nice bold track, which is excellent. You know, easy to line up your golf ball, but as you can see, they put the perpendicular line in there as well for face alignment, and that's huge. That's huge for people who are, you know, learning to putt, people who are still, you know, getting consistency. You know, it's a big thing for me, especially. I love alignment tools, and as you can see, just from holding this up to the camera, you can see it clearly. So great job with that. Design-wise, I love the changes. The only thing I would say is get that LTX out of there, man. Come on now. But no, that's a really good redesign. I love what they've done. Excellent. I have no qualms. Let's go ahead and get out to the chipping and putting green, and let's see how it does greenside. Okay, definitely some good checkup there. Nice little firm click. Yeah, definitely some rotation on that ball. I know it's not stopping on a dime, but it has some spin, some checkup. See if I can go a little shorter here. Oh yeah, beautiful. Excellent. Excellent. Very nice. Right now, I would call it around like 55 to 60%. I'm gonna try to get one to go left and right here, and that'll kind of determine if there's any bonus points. Yeah, definitely some left spin on there. Let me try to hit a little cut. Wow, yes, some bass effect. It went to the right. That is probably 65% on the spin meter. Yeah, as far as the feel goes, it's really fantastic. It's soft, but it's not bouncy ball soft. It doesn't have a lot of spring. It doesn't have a lot of pop. It has a lot of more control. It definitely reminds me more of a tour ball, but without the click. You know, I mean, it's got like a small click in there, maybe medium, but nothing like traditional. It definitely feels like it's been firmed up a little bit with that new cover, so we'll see. But as far as the spin, as far as the consistency, forgiving me on miss hits on my chips, it was pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, that's impressive. Let's get to the putting. All right, so mallet putter here with the Legato. I love this bold track. It definitely looks really good looking over the eye. Let's see what we got here. Wow. A little short. Little miss hit there. You know what, this is the first golf ball in a while that really punishes you on miss hits with the putter. I haven't seen that as much lately. Definitely feels, like I said a minute ago, more tourish, and that's what happens on a tour ball. I definitely, when you miss hit it off the mallet, I'm losing a few feet, which I know a lot of you are gonna be like, well, yeah, no duh. Actually, there's a lot of golf balls I've tested recently that have, so definitely they've probably firmed it up just a tad. But boy, when you hit it good, it's just a rocket. I mean, it's just an absolute rocket launcher. So what that tells me is that this is gonna be for a little bit more of an advanced golfer. Yeah, so my initial fear here is that I'm having trouble with the distance control, which tells me that, again, that firmer cover that they have, it does feel better. It does offer more feedback. I mean, everything about this golf ball right now is screaming, you know, tour, AAA quality golf ball, which is a good thing for some of you. Is not so good for me, you know, it just isn't, because I'm not that good of a golfer, so I'm noticing a little bit of disparity now. When I miss-hit it, I'm losing a few feet, but when I actually hit it really well, now I'm a few feet past the hole, so now there's a disparity here. All right, let's try the traditional blade putter now. Let's see if this is any better. Beautiful, yep, excellent. Wow, yeah. So good news, bad news situation here. As far as the feel, the sound, the feedback, how it comes off the club, all of that has been improved. It's way better, I love it. It feels very premium, it feels very well made, very tour ballish, sorry to keep using that, but very, you know, along that line. Unfortunately, when you have that, you trade it for forgiveness, consistency. Like as you saw with the distance disparity, I had some issues. I mean, there was a couple times I really hit it right in the center, gone. And it didn't matter whether it was blade or mallet, it didn't matter at all. And then sometimes I would miss hit it and I'd lose a few feet and be short. I don't like that. I'm not a good putter, unfortunately. I wish I was better. And for me personally, there's a golf balls that I've tested recently that, you know, Strixon Ulti-Speed was one. You know, there's a couple we've done recently that really just added that forgiveness. Whether I hit it off the toe or whether I hit it pure, it had pretty much the same distance. It traded those high ceilings and those low floors for that middle ground, and that's kind of what I like. So honestly, I don't know, it's kind of a dual-edged sword here. I think some of you will pick this up and be like, oh yeah, it feels more like my Pro V1. Yes, I love it. And I think some of you will pick this up and go, wait a minute, it doesn't feel like my old two-piece ball. Like I want more forgiveness, I want more value tour ball. So it just depends on the type of golfer you are, but we'll see if that translates. So let's go over and get a sound and feel test. Oh, off the toe. Wow, it's been a while since I felt some sting in the hands. Man, I'll tell you what, if you just don't pure it, it really does sting in the hands. Even if it's a good hit, if it's just not pure. Again, I know I keep mentioning it, but when we talk about that tour ball quality, this is what Strixon did with a lot of their golf balls, like the Q-Star Tour and the Z-Star. They firmed them up, and what was before really bouncy and springy and easy to hit became a lot more difficult because of the forgiveness and because of, okay, now, you know, pure hits feel okay, but, you know, if I miss-hit it, it stings my hands and I lose 40 yards. I mean, I've seen that with a lot of golf balls, so the reason I keep bringing it up is because it's making me nervous about those numbers. I mean, we'll see, but all right, so when it comes to pure hits, it's good. You know, I would call it a 3.5. We'll bump it up to a 4, give it a 4 out of 5 on pure hits. Miss hits though, Boy, I got to give it a 2 out of 5. You know, this golf ball has a lot of great feedback. And again, that's a tour ball quality, but when you have great feedback like that, basically the way it works is a pure hit is going to feel a certain type of way. A slight mishit is going to feel a certain type of way. A decent mishit's gonna, and so on and so forth, right? And I've noticed that even on slight mishits, my hands were stinging. I mean, legit, like, and it's been a while since I felt that. I also feel the ball just not launching as much. When you really slightly mishit it off the toe or slightly mishit it off inside, I can just immediately tell based on the ball's reaction, it's not going as far. All right, y'all, let's talk some data numbers. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's see if this golf ball can hold its own. Let's see if it's worth the hype. Let's see if the changes helped it, hindered it. Let's find out. 50-yard pitch, first of all, backspin RPM. We are looking at 8,252, which guess what? That's a great amount. That's an excellent amount. I love to see that. Anything over 8,000 is just, you know, peaches and cream, baby. And 8,252 is going to do exactly what I want it to do. It's going to hit. It's going to stick. It's going to even maybe rip back a little bit at you. So I love to see that. There's nothing else I can add to that. That's exactly what I want to see. Getting into the pitching wedge now, we have 124.1. That's 2.5 yards more than my average. Nice. 124.4, so not a lot of rollout. This golf ball has some spin. We'll see that in a second. 78 on your swing speed, excellent. 97.2 ball speed, love to see it. 71.68, really great, healthy amount of spin. That ball is going to rip back to you a little bit. That's awesome. 1.24, excellent number there. 23.7 on your launch, so it launched basically mid, just slightly below mid, but excellent numbers there. Really excellent numbers. Gain distance, a massive amount of spin. We talked about this with the Strixon Ulti-Speed we just did. Having your cake and eating it too is how you really bump up the charts in the golf ball added golf ball list, because when you're gaining distance across the board, gaining ball speed, nice mid-flight, I love it, but then wait a minute, I also have enough spin that's one of the highest spinning golf balls I've tested so far, and I'm going to get ripped back with that distance. I love it. That's awesome. Great numbers. Nothing else to say there. Let's dive into the 7-iron. We are looking at 166.9. That's a gain of 4 yards. 168.3. That's a gain of 4 yards. 84 on the swing speed. Perfect. Chef's kiss on that. 118.1. I mean, a gain of 2.5 mile an hour. 55.49, which is basically mid, just slightly above mid. So that's not bad because the distance is insane there. 1.41 on your smash factor, which is the best by far I've seen so far season 5. 17.6, again, a slightly less than average, you know, mid launch. And again, those numbers are nothing to gawk at, because when you look at these numbers, here's what impresses me the most, and I'll be transparent about it. The forgiveness on this golf ball is not very good. It just isn't. It's more tour ball-like. We've talked about that. My big thing is that I can't believe the averages are still so good despite that. This golf ball has serious distance potential, because if you are a great ball striker, not good, if you're a great ball striker, you're going to see consistent, incredible gains with enough spin to still hold and rip back on a green. That's really something to talk about. Now, again, it's disappointing because there were shots. You know, I'm getting 166 on average with my 7-iron. That's incredible. That's insane, especially for the swing speed. But what's really incredible about it is that miss hits were going like 140, 135. So now 15 shots, eliminate the worst 5. That got rid of some of those. But the fact that there's still some shots in there that might have been 150, 155, and it's still averaged 166, that's pretty impressive. It really is. So interesting. Let's see the driver numbers. This is going to be the cherry on top. Let's see if it can finish strong. We are looking at 227.2, which is a gain of 5 yards. 236, which is a gain of 4 yards. 97.5 on the swing speed, so a little higher than my normal. So just kind of take that into an equation there. 140.4 on your ball speed. 21.99 on the spin. Very nice there. A little bit lower than average, mid. 1.44 on your smash factor, and 16.5 on the launch, which again is mid-low. Like, I mean, it's all been consistent across the board. So nothing to talk about there. Now, I will say, the driver numbers are not as eye-popping as the other numbers. You know, last year I think we ran into the issue of once I got to the bigger clubs, once I got to the hybrid, once I got to the driver, I did start to see a little bit of, different in performance. Now, I wouldn't call it different this time. It's very consistent. But what I will say is that it's just not eye-popping. You know, these driver numbers, I was swinging the club fast. What I also noticed is that a lot of the time, it really wanted to launch low. It does. It wants to launch really low a lot of the time. I was having with the driver to really tee it up high and try to purposely get it up in the air to get it there. And that's why it's interesting that it still had a low launch despite all that. So it's a low launching golf ball. And for me, I don't get a lot of carry unless I get that ball high in the air. So that tells me, again, someone who's swinging really fast, someone who is more of an advanced player, they're going to hit down on the ball a little bit more. That's what that's going to be. Not my cup of tea, not my optimal driver number. Let's get into some accuracy and dispersion. Let's pull up the chart here. All right, so looking at this, let's start with the 50-yard pitch. 50-yard pitch is good. I mean, I would call that very consistent. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 there with that 50-yard pitch. Honestly, like, the distance is kind of bothering me. I'm all over the place there, but accuracy-wise, it's a little left and right, but not super bad. Then if you look over at the pitching wedge, everything was kind of being pushed right a little bit. Again, all those aren't bad. 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5, somewhere in there, not bad. 7-iron is great. Look at that 7-iron. I was throwing some serious darts with the 7-iron. I love that. Everything's in that nice little tight circle. In fact, there's 4 or 5 that are just all right there. Imagine there's a little pin right there. That'd be perfect. Maybe even a hole out. Once you get into the driver, now this is where, as you can see, it's all over. Now, if you take away that one far left pull, the rest of them are not so bad. But as you can tell from the driver numbers there, it's inconsistent, and that comes from a lack of forgiveness, but it's a different type of forgiveness, right? There's 2 types of forgiveness on a golf ball that I look for in the most. The first one is when you mishit it. Is it off the toe, inside? How much distance do you still have despite the fact that you mishit it off the face? That's part one, but the other one is the side spin. You know, a lot of amateur, intermediate, heck, even good golfers, when they turn the club face a little inside by accident or they leave it a little open, how much side spin's that golf ball going to have? Is it going to punish you where, oh, now it's 2, 3 fairways over? Or is it, okay, I left the face a little open, it's going to have a slight little fade, okay, now I'm in the rough. It's a huge difference, and it could save you a ton of strokes. This one, like we talked about, not a lot of forgiveness. And as you can see, slight closing the face, I'm over in the weeds. Slight leaving it open, I'm in the thick cut, almost near the weeds. Is it partially my fault? Of course it is, but I look for that. That's the best thing about the human element of testing, right? Robots will just put it in the same spot every single time. I want to know, if I make a mistake, how much is it going to punish me? And as you can see, a little more than some of the other golf balls I've tested recently. All right, let's talk about durability real quick. This is one of the things they really wanted to improve on. Looking at it, you know, pretty good for the most part. Looking around on it, I see some scuffs. I see some cosmetic ones for sure. There's some paint rubbed off here and there. But when I feel the golf ball itself with my hands, I close my eyes, it's pretty smooth for the most part. I call it an 8 out of 10. It's definitely going to get you through a round. Now, this is getting in that critical line where I don't know if I would trust it putting anymore. I think I could still get a couple holes out of it. I do. So 8 out of 10 seems fair. Not perfect by any means, but hey, you're paying $34.99 for a 3-piece urethane golf ball. You're getting a little bit of a break there. So the fact that it lasts you a round should be good enough for you guys. But let's be honest, a lot of you are going to lose them before that point anyway. Not bad on the durability. So final thoughts. Here is the good news, bad news situation. Okay. Legato, the changes they have made, right? Let's pretend that there's a chart, right? And let's pretend that you have on one side a golfer who is coming from a 2-piece soft. He's all about forgiveness. He's all about squishiness and rocket power. And he wants a nice easy ball to put down, hit, have a good time, get it out there, get it on the green. Then on the far other side, you have the tour player. Maybe he used to play a Pro V1. Maybe he used to play, a Callaway Chrome Soft or a Strixon Z-Star, whatever, right? Both of these golfers now try the Legato, right? And let's pretend that their opinions are as follows. The first guy says, man, I love Legato, but unfortunately, I just wish that it was a little more squishier. I wish it was more for, beginner golfers. I wish it was more, softer, forgiving, that kind of thing, right? Then the other golfer says, man, I love the Legato. I just wish it was more tour ball-like. I wish it was more like my Z-Star, more like my Pro V1, or more like my, that kind of thing, right? Which golfer is going to be happier with this one? The guy who's used to playing the Pro V1. The guy who's used to playing the tour ball, right? Which means that now the guy who wants a little more forgiveness, wants a little bit more softness, wants some more bouncy ball effect, I think that guy's actually going to be a little bit disappointed. I think he's going to be wishing, man, what happened to my old Legato? How much that's going to vary depends on the person. Now, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? It depends on you. right? It depends on you, because if you're one of those guys who did play the Pro V1 and you like Legato, but you're like, man, I just wish it was a little firmer. I wish I had a little more feedback. I wish I could bend it more. Then I think you're going to be like, my goodness, this is it. This is perfect. If you're one of those guys like me, unfortunately, that loves forgiveness, consistency, you know, hitting a golf ball and feeling that bouncy ball effect and just feeling it rocket off, I think you're going to be disappointed, because now it's gone more toward the tour player. I wish they'd kept the forgiveness. It's interesting. I'd love to see a side-by-side comparison. Maybe we can do that later in the year, the old model versus the new. But yes, there have been some excellent changes. They took the feedback, but it feels like a lot of the feedback they took was from more advanced golfers. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's what it feels like based on what I am. So overall, you know what, Legato? Still, good job. You have an excellent golf ball at $34.99 a dozen that a lot of people are going to love. I have some extras. I might run a contest. I might sell them in a variety pack or something, you know, to get. I'd love to see you guys test them, and I'd love to know your feedback, because I want to see what you think as well. Guys, as always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. Until next time.